We were not designed to get it right every time. We were not designed to be perfect. We're actually designed to be flawed and to come here to heal the parts of us that we're at war with so that we can evolve, so that we can become, so that we can rise and then share that journey with the rest of us or with the rest of the world. Hey, I'm Brooke Jean, therapist, recovering perfectionist, and struggling working mom on a mission to normalize normal. If you're an overwhelmed, high achieving, and secretly anxious mama, struggling to balance it all and on the brink of burnout, you are in the right place. Here is where we talk about hard things like balancing work and family life, mental health, and how to navigate life altering transitions. Nothing is too taboo here. In my conversations, I'll teach you how to let go of who you think you're supposed to be in order to create the life you've always wanted. Get ready to embrace your messy, shed the shoulds, and find freedom through a life unperfected. This is the Unperfected Pod. Welcome back to the Unperfected Pod, where we normalize normal and find freedom in a life unperfected. What is up, mama? My name is Brooke Jean. I'm your host, and I am so freaking glad and grateful that you are here. This week, you guys, my free masterclass, Perfectionism Detox, Reclaiming Your Worth and Inner Peace, is happening this week, this Friday, July 19th, from noon Mountain Standard Time until 1:30 p.m. Be there or be square. Have you already reserved your seat? You guys are not going to want to miss this experience. Okay. You're going to join me on the Zooms. The energy is going to be popping off. We are going to learn what it means, like what perfectionism is, and understand how it's actually showing up for you and preventing you from stepping into your fullest and most potent, powerful power and potential. You are going to learn my go to proven strategies for overcoming perfectionism. You guys know I'm a licensed professional counselor, I'm a coach, I'm a business consultant. So I share my tried and true therapeutic techniques to help you heal, integrate, overcome, manage those perfectionistic parts while also not losing your drive, your intention, your passion, and your desire for abundance and love and success in all the ways. I'm also going to guide you to reclaim your inner peace and your unshakable self worth, honey, because worth is the foundation for enoughness. And take a little journey with me right here, right now. Can you imagine yourself when you know that it's enough? When you can get off the hamster wheel of redoing and reworking and overanalyzing and trying again and trying harder, and you can rest in a place of enoughness. You know that you're enough, you know your gifts, you know who you authentically are, and you know that what you do is enough. Because unperfecting, guys, isn't about like opting out of life. In fact, it's the opposite. It's getting crystal clear on who you are and what matters most and pouring your intention into those buckets. It's about being amazing at just a couple of things. And because you have your energy right, because you have unshakable self worth, because you are utilizing your time, energy, and sanity in the places that matter most, you actually collapse time and get where you want to go. And you do it in a way that feels freaking good. So imagine hitting that next level of success in your business with more ease. Imagine being the mom that you want to be with more joy. Imagine being able to leave your workday in the middle of the day and go take a hip hop dance class and crying because it feels so good. This is what is available to you. Okay. I am able to have richer relationships. I'm able to be the kind of mom I want to be. I'm able to have the business success that I want with more confidence, joy, and ease. And that is what is available to you when you let go of who you think you're supposed to be, when you ditch and dissolve the perfectionism, and you step into who you actually are and you get busy creating a life that you actually love. So, sister, if you're ready to get on this train, Sign up today. The link is in the show notes. If you're following me on Instagram, it's there. If you're in my email, you're seeing it, but it's free. What do you have to lose? Get your fanny in my masterclass this Friday, Perfectionism Detox, reclaiming your worth and inner peace. You will be changed in all the juicy and right ways by joining me for this experience. We'll have dance parties. I'll be spitting truths. I'll be teaching you things. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to have fun. And hopefully, you're going to walk away with tools that are actually going to change your life. So let's do this. I cannot wait to see you there. All right, guys. So today we're going to get into self compassion. Self compassion, this concept, is a critical piece of dissolving perfectionism, of the unperfected method that I've created. Self compassion is a critical component to getting where you want to go. Because you see, the most successful people in the world didn't have the perfect strategy out of the gates and strike it lucky first time. They were continually failing forward. They would try something, it wouldn't work. They would dust themselves off. They would show self compassion that would give them access to resilience. And then they would try again. And then they would try again. And they would try different until they landed the first Apple product, until they created the idea that changed the world, until they became the version of themselves that they could be proud of. So, self compassion is one of your ninja hacks that's going to help you stay the course to get the result that you want, whether it's love, abundance, joy, wealth, success, whatever it is. So, what actually today, I'm going to give you 3 keys to self compassion. Here's something cool. I am creating a bonus for an upcoming program that I'm launching that's going to be 10 days to self compassion, where I am going to hold your hand day by day through 10 days to self compassion. But today I'm going to share 3 keys, which are 3 of the days. But I wanted to start with what the heck even is like the definition of self compassion, because self compassion is one of those concepts that you hear about, you hear people talking about, you see it on Instagram, you kind of know it's important, but if you really had to name it, you're like, what the heck actually is that? All right. So, according to Wikipedia, okay, in psychology, self compassion is extended compassion to one's self in instances of perceived inadequacy, failure, or general suffering. American psychologist Kristen Neff, who I highly recommend for this work, has defined self compassion as being composed of 3 main elements: self kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. Okay. So, when you think about compassion, which is really having this unconditional positive regard, compassion is showing a kindness, an understanding of one's experience. Self compassion is just turning that intention inward. And as women, as mothers, we're pretty darn good at showing compassion to others. In fact, we're conditioned to read the energetics of a room, to read the emotions of a room, and jump in and extend ourselves to help someone, to understand their position, to understand their emotions, and to help them through it. So we're naturally pretty darn good at this. We show compassion to our families, to our kids, to our loved ones, to our communities, to our clients. That comes more naturally. But you know what doesn't come as naturally? Turning that compassion inward, showing that kindness to self, showing that understanding to self, normalizing our feelings and our experience and our struggles. That's why normalizing normal is a key tenant of the unperfected brand, because it's all about self compassion and reducing shame. So, how do we show this kindness to ourselves? How do we have unconditional positive regard to ourselves, especially when we're on the struggle bus, especially when we perceive that we're failing? Because that is motherhood, right? It's one big feeling like we're failing. It's one big feeling like no matter what we do, it's never enough. We could do more, we could be more. And that's not actually true. That's just a perception of a reality that doesn't exist that we call perfectionism. And so today I want to teach you 3 ways starting now that you can start to build self compassion so that you can access resilience, so that you can stay the course to your vision. Okay. Last week on the podcast, I talked about setting realistic and compassionate goals, which means how do we have a vision for what we want in our life? And then how do we break that down into goals? And then how do we break those goals down into baby steps that we can take every single day that lead us to marginal gains that get us where we want to go without overwhelming our system? Because if we're in an overwhelmed system, we freeze, we get stuck. We can't see the forest through the trees. We don't know the next action to take. So, self compassion allows us to access the resilience that allows us to stay the course, to meet our goals, to ultimately embody our vision. We can't just have goals and no self compassion. We can't just have drive and no resilience. That is not a balanced state of being that's going to help you get where you want to go, or more importantly, to enjoy the here and the now. Because the here and the now is the enoughness and the place that we create from, that we manifest from, that we feel better in. And it's in the space of feeling better that we can continue to show up and be the mother, be the leader, be the helper, be the partner, be the community leader, be the whatever that you want to be. So, hopefully by now, you're on board with why self compassion matters. It's not just a woo woo feel good. Does it help you feel better? Yes. But it also helps you get where you want to go. It helps you play the long game. And anything that you really want in this life, not only is it available to you here and now, but it's going to require that you show up differently, that you show up for yourself. And that's what self compassion is all about. So, number one, the first key to self compassion is understanding your humanity. It's normalizing your humanness. It's remembering that you are a precious being walking on this planet, trying to figure out life, and that you deserve unconditional positive regard just like the rest of us, just like your children. You were born an innocent, precious soul that was so deserving of love and kindness and compassion. Just by being born, you are deserving and worthy of all the gold that this universe has to offer. You are no different than anyone else walking this planet. You are deserving, you are worthy. You are allowed to make mistakes just like the rest of us. And you deserve kindness when you do. Think about when your children mess up. When they come home and say, Mommy, I missed this question on the quiz, or Mommy, I forgot this at school, or Mommy, somebody was picking on me for something. Do you say, How dare you? You should have done better. You should have tried harder. Do you ridicule them? Or do you say, Honey, it's okay. You did your best, and that's amazing. We can work at things. We can have a growth mindset, but I'm so proud of you for trying, for showing up. The same way that you would talk to your best friend, the same way that you would talk to your children. That's how I want you to remember to be with yourself, right? You're only human. We were not designed to get it right every time. We were not designed to be perfect. We're actually designed to be flawed and to come here to heal the parts of us that we're at war with so that we can evolve, so that we can become, so that we can rise and then share that journey with the rest of us or with the rest of the world. That's the hero's journey, right? So in your humanity, you're allowed to be messy. In your humanity, you're allowed to fail and fall down, and you deserve love and kindness to help you get back up. You're only human. How many of you really needed to hear this right now? Nobody said you had to be perfect. Do we feel that we're supposed to be? Yes. Have I educated you guys on why that is till the cows come home, and will I keep educating you on that? Yes. But what's really important for us to remember right now is that we don't have to get it right. We're allowed to mess up. A lot of times it's actually in our mess that we reconnect to our magic. So you're allowed to fuck up like the rest of us. You're allowed to fail forward. You're allowed to fall off your intention and get back in the game time and time again. Remembering that you're only human and that you're allowed to mess up is the first key to self compassion. Why are you being harder on yourself than you are on everyone else in your world? I want you to double click on that for a moment. How many of you are harder on yourselves than you are on anyone else in the world? Raising your hand, raising your hand, raising your hand. Why? You are human. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to struggle. You're allowed to suck at things because you can also learn to get better at things. You're allowed to be a work in progress. In fact, that is the most beautiful thing you could be is a work in progress. It's about progress, not perfection. Number 2, the second key to self-compassion is looking at how far you've already come. Look at you. Look at how far you've come. Look at how much you've grown. Look at how many times you've already struggled and failed and got back in. Look at how much you've done. Seriously. Here is where in my program I will guide you through something called the life timeline exercise. Sorry, my brain was like, what is it? What is it? Deet, 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 deet. I was going through the files. So many things it's like on the tip of your tongue and you're like, where the hell is it? Let's normalize that. It doesn't mean we're stupid. It doesn't mean that we're not a great educator. It doesn't mean that we're not a great public speaker. Just sometimes we just sit and pause and take a breath and we wait for the information to arrive and appear. And it usually does, babe. So, anyways, in my programs, I walk you through a life timeline exercise where you highlight the highest and the lowest moments of your life and you look for trends and you look for themes, and that becomes part of who the fuck you are and the gold that you bring, because you will notice there are themes. Wow, I've overcome a lot of stuff. Wow, I've never given up on myself. Wow, I've been extraordinarily resilient. Wow, I've had so much courage to put myself out there. Wow, I've actually achieved every damn goal that I've set out to achieve. Wow, I've continued on my healing journey and I've never given up. And I'm still walking this planet, even though I've wanted to give up. Wow, 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 wow. I am proud of the work I have done. This is the mantra I want to give you. I am proud of the work that I have done. Look at how far you've come. You have overcome so much already. You have already dusted yourself off and tried again. Think about what you've overcome as a child. Think about what you went through in junior high in the awkward teenage years. Think about what you've overcome, the heartbreak and the social dramas in high school. Think about what you've overcome in graduating, becoming adult and starting to work or going to college and all the stuff that you went through there. Think about what you've overcome in starting your career and getting promoted or leaving your career and pivoting and starting something new. Think about what you've overcome in relationships and in your marriage. Think about what you've learned becoming a mother. Becoming a mother is a fucking spiritual awakening where you constantly have to face the ugliest parts of yourself and dig deep to do the work to become. Motherhood is the hardest thing I've ever done, and I still show up for it. And I continue to try to be better today than I was yesterday for myself, for my family, for my children, for my clients. Look at how far you've come. Doesn't that deserve a little bit of acknowledgement and recognition and celebration and self compassion? Look at how far you've come. When you give yourself credit for how far you've come, it's easier to show yourself some kindness, isn't it? You're like, listen, I may not have done this right today. I may have blipped. I may have gone off the deep end. I may have yelled at my children. I may have skipped out on the task I was supposed to do for work. I may have said hit the F it moment. But you know what? I'm going to be kind to myself. I'm going to show myself some grace and some self compassion because look at how far I've come. This is not the end of me. This is just a continuation of what is. So pause and look at how far you've come because it's a lot and you deserve self compassion. Number three, when you fall off the program, when you get off the exercise plan, when you raise your voice at your children, when you lose your mind with your husband, when you don't act in alignment with your CEO self and your highest self and the who you're becoming, when you say fuck it and you drink again or you binge eat, or you buy more shit on Instagram, when you skip your morning ritual, whatever, right? I want you to start to really become aware of how you treat yourself in those delicate moments. And instead of shaming yourself, instead of ridiculing yourself, instead of saying mean and harsh things because you have a mean inner critic, I want you to pause. I want you to take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I want you to choose a nicer thought. I want you to say something kind to yourself, like, oh, I did it again. Okay, no problem. I get to be a work in progress. Tomorrow's a new day. I am proud of how far I've come. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to get it right all the time. I keep showing up. So, right here, right now, I want you to think of something nice that you're going to say to yourself next time you fall out of alignment with your intention. What is the nice thing that you're going to say? I want you to think about what you would say to your child. I want you to think about what you would say to your sister. I want you to think about what you would say to your best girlfriend. When you fall out of alignment, when you mess up, when you make a mistake, when you fail, whatever, what are you going to say to yourself instead of what you've been saying to yourself? Are you going to say it's okay to mess up? I see you, girl. It's okay. I love you anyway. Tomorrow's a new day. Let's try again. It's failing forward that matters. Look at how far I've come. Look at how much effort I'm putting into my life. I see you, girl. It's okay. I see you, girl. It's okay. I see you, girl. It's okay. Write that down right now. What is the new mantra? What is the new thought that you're going to have when you're on the struggle bus? We are no longer ridiculing ourselves. We are no longer shaming the shit out of ourselves. We are no longer letting that validate why we're unworthy of our wildest dreams. We are in the game to build our self worth, to build our resilience, to build our enoughness, because that is where the magic is. So we have to stop doing the opposite of that. Stop berating yourselves. Clean up your inner dialogue. I know it's not nice. I know that you're playing a record in your subconscious mind around it's not enough. I'm not enough. I need to do better. I need to try harder. I need to lose weight. I need to be kinder. I need to be more patient. Oh, there I fucked up again. That's just evidence that I suck. No, we're not subscribing to that record. We're not subscribing to that narrative. That narrative has become baked in your biology because you've thought that thought so many times. It's become a neural pathway. It's become an automatic negative go to in your mind. So if that's you, first of all, I want to normalize that. We've all had so many negative thoughts that they've become neural pathways, that they've been baked in our biology. Hello, welcome to what it is to have a human brain. It's annoying, but it's really just trying to keep us safe. So now that we know that, instead of being mean to yourself about that on top of everything else that you're mean to yourself about, let's normalize that the human brain has all these negative stories and negative narratives that have become negative thoughts. Now let's expose it Let's create distance between it and our reality, it and our responses, and let's choose again and choose differently. And therein lies the therapy. Therein lies the shift. Therein lies the miracle that will change your life, my loves. We are not subscribing to that narrative. We are stopping it in its tracks. We are calling it out. We are taking a deep breath and we're choosing a new thought. It's okay for me to mess up. I get to choose again. Tomorrow's a new day. I get to fail forward. Look at the effort I put into this. I get to be a work in progress. And you think that thought over and over and over again with repetition and emotional consistency. And before you know it, you will have like disintegrated your old neural pathway, your old automatic negative loop around your not enoughness, and you've started to build a new neural connection that becomes a new neural pathway around your self compassion. This is how we change and rewire our brains. This is how we reframe our thoughts. This is how we reprogram our subconscious mind. And when we do all of that toward enoughness, we become a magnet for what we want in our lives. And we feel better along the way because thoughts affect how you feel. So if you're living in negative self thoughts, you're living in hormones that feel like shit. You're living in adrenaline and cortisol. But if you're living in positive self talk, in positive thoughts, you're living in things like serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. I am enough. I am enough. I'm enough. If you want to play with this right here, right now, stop what you're doing. Think a negative thought like, I messed up. I'm a failure. And notice how that makes you feel. Okay. Then take a couple deep breaths, shake that out. Now have a thought that I get to be a work in progress. I am proud of the work I have done. I keep showing up. Notice how that makes you feel. Do you feel the difference there? Our thoughts affect how we feel. So when we have berating self thoughts, berating self talk, it releases hormones that make us feel like frozen, stuck, anxious, irritable. But when we clean those up by noticing, breathing, choosing a new thought, and we do that with repetition and emotional intensity, we can create new neural pathways, new thought patterns, new thought loops that are positive, that release different hormones that feel like calm, ease, enoughness, excitement, joy, pleasure, play, all those feelings. Okay, play isn't a feeling, but it's like in my mind, it's like an image. When I'm playing, I feel a certain way. It's joyful, it's playful, it's magnetic, it's alive. Those are some of the feelings that I feel and that I have associated with the word play. So, when you're on the struggle bus, when you've fallen out of alignment, when you are, according to your own mind, fucking up, I want you to stop criticizing yourself. I want you to pause and breathe, and I want you to tell yourself something new and something different. Whatever that mantra is that I just had you write out. And I want you to do that over and over and over again for the next 30, 60, and 90 days until it becomes your automatic response. This will change your life. I've done this. I've personally witnessed it. I started consciously choosing my first thoughts in the morning. My first thoughts when I used to wake up were all shame based. Oh, I drank again. I ate again. I bought something again. I was short with my kids when I put them down. I was short with my husband. I did it again. I'm a piece of shit. That's how I used to start my day every day until I learned this process. And I would immediately pivot my thoughts to I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am pregnant. Because at the time I was trying to get pregnant with Chloe. I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am pregnant. And every single day I would choose those thoughts instead. And I would start my day with those thoughts. And guess what happened about 30 days in? About 30 days in, I was awoken by my own thoughts. I had zero to do with it, zero effort. I woke up and by nature, my first thought was, I'm healthy, wealthy, and pregnant. And I thought to myself, are you bloody kidding me? Are you bloody kidding me? This is neuroplasticity in real time. I didn't have to shift. I didn't have to pivot. I didn't have to choose these thoughts. I automatically woke up to pleasant thoughts that released pleasant feels. And now all of a sudden, I feel excited about my day. And within 90 days of continuing this process, guess what happened? After 2 years of trying, I got pregnant with Chloe. And getting pregnant allowed me to be really fucking healthy. And that was also the time that my business started taking off. I started making more money than I've ever made. I started showing up and serving the most juicy clients, and they started having transformations, and they started telling other people about their transformations. And people started figuring it out and finding out. My business started to build. And I was so happy and so abundant because of this one practice. So that's why I share this with you so passionately, because if it changed my life and it made me feel better and it created new and meaningful outcomes, then girl, you know I got to share it with you because I want the same for you. Okay, so to recap, 3 keys to self-compassion. Number 1, remembering that you're just a human like the rest of us. Number 2, look at how far you've come, baby. And number 3, when you fall off, I want you to change how you treat yourself. I want you to reframe your thoughts. I want you to tell yourself something kind. And I want you to do that with repetition over and over and over until that becomes your automatic response. Listen, honey, if you want the full 10 keys, if you want the full 10 days to self compassion, then look out for the course that I'm going to be launching after my masterclass, because this is going to be a free bonus. I cannot wait to share the rest with you. Make sure that you have enrolled in my free masterclass, Perfectionism Detox, coming up this Friday, July 19th at noon. Links to join in the bio. Be there. I cannot wait to show up and serve you guys. I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring the energy. We're going to bring the inspiration. We're going to bring the transformation, because when we let go of who we think we're supposed to be, we get busy creating a love that we actually freaking a life that we actually freaking love. You guys have such a beautiful day. I'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye for now. Hey, mama, if you made it to the end of this episode, I just want to virtually high five you because you've said yes to the opportunity of taking better care of yourself. And that is so meaningful and so amazing. You have no idea the ripple of goodness that's to come. If you've been enjoying the show, if you've been finding it helpful, if you've laughed a little or learned a new technique, will you do me a favor? Will you make sure that you're following the show, that you've given us a 5-star rating and left a review? That will absolutely help us get this podcast into more heads and hearts of as many mamas as possible, because when we heal the mother, we heal the world. Also, if there's a specific episode that you've loved, will you make sure to share it with a friend? Just send them the link or share it on social media, and make sure you tag me at Brooke Jean Unperfected, because I absolutely love seeing that this is actually giving you the impact that you so desire and deserve. Thank you so much, mamas. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves and therefore each other.